So I usually don't get excited about celebrities, celebrity culture, pop culture as well, for example. Whenever I see celebrities talk about politics, talk about current events, I take no stock in it. It's a very rare case of a celebrity actually hitting the mark and a celebrity actually caring about issues without it actually being for their brand. Because a lot of times, celebrities they will get into the political sphere, the political discourse, and they're doing it just for their bank account, just for their brand. So because they have sponsors and because they rub elbows with a lot of the wealthy elites and the corporations, they want to find a way to be woke without actually upsetting the power structure. This is the exact reason why I don't take celebrities seriously, but I am shooting this video because they caught me slipping one time. And once again, it's just a lesson I gotta learn as someone who's anti-establishment, someone who is a staunch progressive and aggressive progressive. I love that term. So I've been working on a general strike, possibly, and me and my friends, one of the issues that we ran across is that organizing a general strike is a very daunting. It's a very daunting task. And even though my platform has grown, I don't nearly have the influence needed to kick off a general strike. The people who have the influence to kick off something as massive as a general strike is progressive leaders, people with a lot of clout, a large following, a large platform, but most importantly, people who have leverage. And I cannot think of many people who have more leverage in this situation than the NBA players, which showed me why I'm disappointed, and not them, but also myself, because we read the tweets when the stories came out. I gave them a lot of props. I was very excited about the potential strike/protest. That was silly of me. I should have known that this NBA strike was bullshit after NBA owners were showing their support for the strike. So what I mean by that, because I remember when the Bucks started their protest, the owners immediately came out in support of that. The NBA immediately came out in support of that. So that should have sent me a message that this strike was just straight up PR, straight up bullshit. So apparently they're gonna play this weekend or next week. I don't know exactly what they're gonna play, but this is the part that strikes me. What exactly is the point for striking for 1 week? Less than a week before they caved. There's no point in doing that. The whole point is that we got to put pressure on the oligarchy and we got to hit the ruling class where it hurts. That's their wallet. And not having the NBA playoffs, it would be a sacrifice from the NBA players, but it would have really hurt a lot of corporations in their wallets. It would have halted the flow of billions of dollars. And they had a platform that would have created a ripple effect if they went on a general strike. So the NBA players go on strike. You saw it was jumping around teams, and they started agreeing with the strike. Then now there's talk about the teachers striking for the first time in 40 years. So if you had the NBA players that were striking and they held that strike for a long time, that will put massive pressure on the ruling class to do something about Black Lives Matter. Now, if you quit your protest and you immediately go back to tap dance for the white people, that's exactly what they're doing. They can't help but tap dance for white people. So when you do that, you just throw away your leverage. What did Black Lives Matter get from the NBA players agreed to coming back? Nothing. And this is the mistake I made when I was getting excited about the protest or the strike that they had. At the end of the day, these people are millionaires, and they rub elbows with billionaires and corporate backers. They are good friends with Barack Obama, which obviously I'm going to lay out how, once again, he stopped progressive change. So the point of your general strike is that you withhold your labor until there are change being made. So what happened? At the end of the day, these clowns caved. They caved to corporate pressure. They caved to their bank accounts. Because apparently LeBron James, who's a liberal to the very core, he does good things every once in a while, but for the most part, he's a liberal. Apparently, I'm looking at the story. Let me check this out here. So LeBron was very upset. My boy Nico House is the one who shared this with me. He was upset because they didn't have a plan to return to playing. LeBron, the point isn't for you to return to playing. The point is for you to get something substantial for the Black Lives Matter movement. We are not your prop for PR. You would stop not playing on a game for 1 week, get great headlines, and they come back to play the next week despite no change happening. That's counterproductive. You're not helping nobody by doing that. So LeBron was very upset. He did his tweet, "Fuck this man, we demand change, sick of it." But actually in the backstage, he was mad because they didn't have a plan on how to get it back together. So this brings me to Barack Obama, because honestly, these people are amazing athletes. They got a lot of stuff going on in their lives, in their careers, right? So they asked someone who they believe is an ally for advice. So they went to Barack Obama. They went to a guy that was president when Black Lives Matter started for advice on racial justice. A guy who clearly don't give a fuck. A guy who endorsed the guy who wrote the crime bill. The guy who still is against legalized marijuana. Barack Obama is not our friend. He is not our ally. Barack Obama is the biggest obstacle towards change in America. Because as I mentioned earlier in this video, the ripple effect of this NBA protest / strike would send shockwaves throughout the American working class. That's why they wanted to stop it shortly, because we wouldn't have got any concessions immediately, but the NBA players go on strike. Man, we got teachers that are thinking about going on strike. And then what if we get truck drivers on strike? Like, it literally, these things escalate quickly. They escalate quickly. So they had to stomp it out. Because as I mentioned earlier, I don't have the influence to kick off a general strike despite how much I want to do that. We need progressive leaders. And honestly, as much I hate to say it, we need celebrities to help kick that off. Barack Obama is a master manager of the oligarchy. Master. So they call him up, and he pretty much tells them to shut up and dribble. Well, the advice that Barack Obama gave them is incoherent, because he said, well, you guys got to play. That will maximize your chance to get effective change. That's essentially what Barack Obama said. In what universe? If they're not striking, what pressure does that put on the right-wing oligarchy that we live under? What pressure does that give the fascist police state to change? So Barack Obama, just like a lot of Democrats and what they do, they purposely give progressives bad advice. And that's exactly what he did. He gave us bad advice. Well, I shouldn't say it's bad advice. I should say he tricked LeBron and the basketball players like he wanted to do. So now they're going back to play. Barack Obama did his thing, what he usually do. He hides in his mansion. Throughout the course of the Trump administration, and despite all the disasters that happened under the Trump administration, he's been quiet until he has to come out and defend the oligarchy. He has to crush another working class movement. He crushed the Bernie Sanders movement, and he crushed the NBA worker strike. And this is a problem that we are going to have to deal with for decades. Decades. Barack Obama is still young. And he still has a ton of influence, despite the fact that he shouldn't, despite the fact that he's a warmonger, despite the fact that he tanked black wealth, despite the fact that he deported Mexicans en masse and he bombed Muslims. So the only people that was safe and the only people that was unaffected by Obama's term was white people. And that's why it's so easy for them to tell me to vote for Joe Biden, because they wasn't affected by his reign. They wasn't affected by his leadership, his policies. And we even have Obama, who was a kingsmaker, who picked the Democratic nominee, who will be in this game crushing these working class movement and crushing the left, as long as he has power and influence, which is why I've been calling on black progressives and black leftists to stop treating Obama like he's a friend, like he's an ally. He's not. He's not. He's one of our number one enemies, and he's one of the number one enemies towards progress and change. And we really, really need the progressive movement to start acting like that. So I wanted to talk about that strike and honestly my conclusions and what really upset me as a young black man, because what happened is we had Obama once again kill another strike. You have black boomers and you have rich black people who sold us out to the police state. They sold us out. They don't care that we have a nominee that still want to give more money to the police. They don't care that young black men are more likely to be stopped from marijuana charges than white people and the older black peers. They don't care. They don't care that the Department of Homeland Security is crushing our skulls. We are calling for defund the police. The NAACP president came out and said he don't support that. The NAACP has been a group that has been hijacked by liberals who've been pushing the fascist police state that have been oppressing our community for the last few decades. And this is why I've been going after the Black Congressional Caucus. The Black Congressional Caucus. Because they continue to sell us out to the police state, and they continue to give us bad advice on purpose. They are leading us off a cliff, and I implore my black leftists to please join me in calling these forces of oppression out. So, thank you guys for checking out the video. As you see, I'm making a lot of changes here on my channel. Like, subscribe. Please support my channel. Subscribe to my Patreon page. It's Nick, Progressive Martial Artist. Sign out.